I think we're live. See if I can get this, well, actually I need to make some coffee. Coffee time! Here we go. Another day in paradise. Don't judge my recycling pile too hard. When it gets to there, we take it out. Still half asleep. The snooze button was working good. Ooh. Probably could have slept till noon. There we go. Some water real quick. There we go. Full launch. Oh, we got cantaloupe too. Forgot to talk about that. Alright, let's get the the old monitor to here live. This thing. Volume down. Brought to you by somebody. Paris 2024. The Olympics. Brought to you by the Olympics. Didn't realize we had to advertise the Olympics. Oh, it's Access Hollywood. All right. And we're brought to you by Wix as well. Come on. Skip this garbage. All right. Welcome to the sloped roof edition of the fucking clown world we live. Oh, man. I feel like I keep telling myself, well, that's the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life. And then just like a week or two, it's like, well, that's even stupider. Is stupider even a word? Yeah, I guess it must be. Because I've been seeing some of the most stupider shit I've ever seen in my fucking entire life. So unless you live under a rock, you've noticed they've been talking about a event that recently involving the Secret Service. Well, the head of the Secret Service came out and said the roof was too sloped and they got to take that consideration in the safety of their officers. And it's like, the only thing less sloped than that roof would be a sidewalk. That roof is so sloped that you can be a person who's no longer alive and you won't fall off the roof. That's how sloped that roof was. A person who's no longer living can be on the roof and not slide off the roof. How dangerous of a roof is that? It's like, dude, you've got to be kidding me. Like, that's not even, like, I don't even think that person should be fired. I don't even know what the word for that is. Like, never allowed to, like, say sentences out loud in public. If that's like, whoa, that's crazy. The roof was too sloped. It's like, no, I don't think that's what it was. And I don't know who's making that person say that shit, but my God, the roof is too sloped. That's like next level, like, stupidest shit you could ever. It just doesn't even make sense. I mean, that literally, it's like, well, you know, that water was a little too wet. It's like, well, I know. I'm like, like, I didn't get my protractor out. In case you don't know what protractor is, that's a thing that measures angles for, like, if you want to figure out how steep a roof is. I didn't get my protractor out, but I'm pretty sure the two sniper teams that were on roofs were on steeper roofs already. And, you know, kudos to them for not, falling off the roofs. But, yeah. The roof's too sloped. I think about that, and like just the other day, I literally witnessed people starting to put shingles on a roof, and it was raining. So there was dudes in tennis shoes walking on a house roof in the rain with no safety equipment. But yet that wasn't like, oh well, you know, it's raining, and that was me. That roof was much steeper. Like if you would let's see, if you take a corpse, put it on the roof, those guys were working off, the corpse would have slid off. So it was steeper than a slope. Like I don't, maybe that's the new term. A it's so steep, a corpse fall off. Like no, that wasn't that steep. It was less steep than a corpse could fall off. Like God Almighty, dude. It doesn't like it. I mean, I'm trying to figure out like if you screw up at your job. I mean, what's the definition of screwing up your job? I guess that's probably the next thing to try to figure. I hate to say it, but I think there was some shit there that's there's some Alex Jones shit level fucking fuckery going on, because what did somebody say? Frack mistakes. So many goddamn mistakes that it's like it doesn't even make sense, dude. Like there's so much crazy shit. And my favorite is it's like because it's all been recorded in 4K from fucking 25 fucking different locations or whatever. I'm trying to go through, let me, like, trying to remember all the terrible tragedies that I've witnessed in my life and how it went. And it's like pre me, before me, terrible tragedies. What do we got? Of shit that's like, that's not really how it worked out. I mean, there was, back in 1996, there was an airplane that left the east coast of the United States, and it was literally blown the fuck out of the sky. To be fair, the building was... So it's interesting, that's what they're saying. But to be fair, the Secret Service is in charge of the total perimeter from the inside to the middle to the outside. They're in charge of all that. To be fair. Now you can delegate, but the term "the buck stops here," and for the person who the buck is stopping at to say the roof was too steep for anybody to go up. Like this, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, let's go back to the, because like the problem they're having now is because we live in a world where everything's recorded, so not everyone can see. So like back in the 90s, internet was pretty new, and they basically told you what was going to happen. So this plane got shot out of the sky, and they tried to tell everybody that the gas tank blew up. But what happened was a missile shot out of the ocean and blew this out of the sky. There's a whole documentary, you can watch it. And they went and told all the eyewitnesses who were standing on the beach and watched the rocket come out of the ocean and blow the plane out of the fucking sky that they didn't see it. They even made a fucking video that said it was not a missile. It's just like, it wasn't a missile! Anyways, and then like, that's just one example. And then it's like, you fast forward a little bit, it's like, well, a little more cameras. I mean, the same thing kind of happened when John F. Kennedy got shot. They told you what happened, and all of a sudden there was a video of it happening. He's like, well, show what they told you. We got so many videos now, right? Like, have you seen the video analysis that people are doing on the audio? Because audio is real. They're taking the audio from the people's video who were there, and you could just, if you've ever been in a computer, go to an audio file, it just little graph. You got the shot, you got the report, because there's the ultrasonic pop as the bullet goes by the microphone, and then there's the explosion from when the bullet left the gun. And there's also a time interval in between there. And if you did any sort of like advanced math in your life, you can figure out distance of things happening from pop to bang, because of we live on planet Earth and there's physics involved. It turns out it's not exactly the same for the first like 3 bullets as the last 4 bullets. It's like, well, wait, what? And it's like, so more than one set of guns shot from, oh man, didn't know that. Interesting. And then it's like, oh, interesting. Eyewitness testimony. There's a shooter in the fucking tower. What? The water tower. What do you mean water tower? Oh, you mean the highest vantage point that oversaw the Overwatch position for the whole fucking rally? That's weird. Why wouldn't they put somebody up there to be watching it? Oh, we'll just leave that fucking blind. That's like happening. Like, you could take a 7-year-old, put him in charge of security, and they would have done a better job of like identifying the spots that you got to have somebody fucking standing. Like, it's just insane, dude. It's absolutely fucking insane. And on the PD thing, the local PD fought back on that. They're like, no, we were in charge of doing traffic security. Like they're just throwing the local PD under the bus. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, holy goddamn Christ. Pay no attention. I mean, whatever. The biggest one is the stock shorting. That's the one. It's like, wait a second, what? Because that happened during 9/11, and they didn't even look into it. Yeah. So for those of you that are newly initiated, back on September 11th, when the terrorists hit the trade towers, there was people who took stock shorts out on American Airlines and some other shit that was heavily affected by the attack before the attack. Large positions, and they made lots of money. It's like, well, that's weird. I wonder why a person would do that. I just feel like maybe today there's just going to be some magic happen. It's like, that doesn't fucking ever happen. Well, the water tower video is not a very good video, but it moves. There's nothing on the top of a water tower that changes a shadow, ever. Unless there's something up there changing a shadow. You got to realize that. I haven't heard anything about a zip line. I'm just saying, I saw the video and the fucking black shadow moves. And it's like, dude, there's nothing on top of a water tower that I'm aware of that's standard equipment that makes shadow shift. Like, that's zero. But I mean, you could just listen with your own ears. You can hear the pops are different. I mean, you got to realize that it goes click clack, click clack, click clack, click clack, and then it's like clack 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 clack, and then there's the final shot at the end, clunk, completely different. So there's 3 different bullet caliber shot. It's audio. You can hear that. And if you go through and you look at the audio file, you can you graph it out. It's just like you can tell the difference in the distance based on the difference between the subsonic or the supersonic pop and the fucking report. It's nuts, dude. Like, you don't have to go down a rabbit hole, dude. It's just like open. The vent on the water tower. The water tower has a vent. That's just I guess. I mean, I've seen a water tower before. Any giant vents on the sides of a water tower. I mean, it's not like a vent to an attic. If it's going to be something that's going to keep like a fucking rodent from going in. But it's just. I mean, I guess it could be the vent. I'm trying to think. The other thing is just like mind fucking boggling. Mind boggling. Here's another one. I don't, on a daily basis, my profession, handle a firearm. I don't do that. But if I did, I could absolutely sure. I could probably, with probably 45 minutes of practice, I would be able to holster a pistol, a broken hand, a blindfold on, getting punched in the face. I could probably still holster my pistol. But yeah, we're all supposed to sit there and like tell ourselves, oh yeah, no, that's the, and I'm not even going to blame it on femaleness. I'm going to say the caliber of candidate that we want protecting our national treasures, if you will, is a person who can't even reach across to a location they chose to put their holster and holster their weapon. It's just like, wait, what? Like, if Saturday Night Live did a fucking skit and they just put in the footage of the Secret Service members running around, people would be chuckling. Oh, that's such good comedy writing. It's like, dude, that doesn't even make sense. Like, the dudes in camo that came out with helmets on in Battle Rattle, like the Hammers, like those dudes were there to fucking kill somebody. Versus the people in the secret, it's like, okay, well, at least we're getting the finest candidates, right? It's just like, dude, what the fuck is happening? It doesn't even make sense. Well, it's not a garage door opener. It's a relay. They use them in fireworks. It's just like it's a pure detonator. It's not a garage door opener. But yeah. So okay, that's a great point. Okay, so you've seen the detonator with the 12 button thing. You've seen the battery. Have you seen a single picture of a shell casing? Have you seen one photo of a shell casing? Because you've seen a photo of the detonator. But I literally guarantee you have not seen a single shell casing. Right? No one's seen a shell casing. Seen 2 shell casings, 3, how many shell casings? No one's seen any of those photos. But yet you saw the photo. You probably saw the photo of the guy washing the fucking roof off. The FBI agent. It's just like, dude, what's happening? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, what the fuck is... I mean, I know what's happening, but like, why is it happening? It doesn't, like, it's like go online and type the word, like, whatever you want, blah, 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 conspiracy, and they're going to tell you, the internet's going crazy with conspiracies, and then you read their lists, and it's just, like, a list of things that, like, you can watch in a video. Conspiracies are getting out of hand. It's like, what the fuck is happening, dude? Like, that's not even a conspiracy. Like, okay, tell me what's the official story, and who's going to give it? That's what I want. Who gives the official story on that one? You know, which governmental agency is going to write the official story of what happened on the day? Is it going to be the governmental agency that's prosecuting the former President Trump? Is it going to be the governmental agent that raided his home with weapons drawn? Which of the governmental agents is going to tell us exactly what happened on that day? You know what I mean? It's just like, yep, that's going to be extremely accurate, and it's going to be extremely the way it happened. And it's like, and then all those videos you watch, don't pay attention to that shit. Like, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. It's like, well, that's fucking nuts, dude. Shit's crazy. Like the shorting of the stock, that absolutely 100% means somebody had foreknowledge. Because you don't put a 12 million share short bet on randomly. It doesn't happen. And the reason it doesn't happen is because it doesn't happen. Ain't nobody ever bought a 12 million share fucking short on a fucking stock. Unless they knew it was gonna fucking win. And then you'd be hard pressed to argue against that. I mean, please anybody's more than welcome to show me a time where someone bought a 12 million short on the day before a giant event could have gone. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I was born on a day, but I wasn't born yesterday. Yeah, the short. That's crazy. And it's like, well, who is Austin Financial Holdings, and who? And I'm not even going to say it on the stream because I don't want to get banned. But go ahead and Google into that, and you'll find out who the fuck those kind of people are. And it's like, dude, that's so crazy. It's so fucking crazy. Because like, how? What? Play the scenarios in your head. What are the possible scenarios, and I don't want to harsh anybody or pick on anybody, but what are the scenarios whose ability to participate on planet Earth is such as the current president's is? What would have to happen for a person like that to get reelected? When their cognitive and their health and their motor is like his. What would you have to do to make that happen? Well, you have to. I mean, there's only certain you can get that to happen. You got to have basically nobody to run against. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay. I mean, it's just like I was like, oh yeah, no, you haven't even seen Crazy yet. Like, it hasn't even gotten going. I absolutely guarantee you, it has not even got. Yeah, and then not only was the guy who took the shots in a commercial BlackRock, the commercial was taken down within minutes of the shooting. I don't even know if the dude was fucking identified yet officially. They were still trying to figure out because like it was kind of crazy. There was people posted pictures of themselves on the internet saying, "Oh, I got a picture of the shooter." Because that's fucking crazy. Because the guy's like, "Oh, what have I done?" I was like, read his post as he was doing it. It's like, you are a dumb motherfucker. He put a picture of himself. It's like, here's a picture of the shooter. It's like, oh god, people are idiotic. But yeah, and that's like, okay, well, that's just a random coincidence. Just a random coincidence. It's random. And then you find out that the company may or may not be financially involved in the company that did the stock trade. Oh, that's weird. Huh? Who would have thought? Not that I'm going to say that, but like you can go ahead and Google that if you want to. Just like whatever. It's so fucking crazy. And like, it's one of these deals where like. I mean, I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but like, it's one of these deals where it's like, okay, let's all believe the events that happened, right? A happened, B happened, C happened. But how come like G, F, Q, Z, and Y didn't happen? So like, did they know this was a like, how did they know there wasn't a second, third, fourth, and fifth shooter? How do they know there weren't going to be simultaneous attacks on multiple targets in multiple states? The president's wife was in the state. Did they know that she was not, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like when well, we'll go back down. It's kind of like on 9/11 when the president of the United States was sitting in a classroom reading a book to children and the United States was being attacked. I mean, I don't run the United States, but I assume standard procedure would be we are being attacked. We don't know where all the attacks are happening. We could be getting attacked where we are right now because we're in a public venue. We should go immediately. But they didn't. They whispered in his ear, and he sat there. And it's like, well, as a rational person observing the situation, assume since you were visiting a location with the President of the United States, so it was on his itinerary that was knowledge, that you would assume that that would be a prime target, and you would immediately, you would shove children and shit to get him out of the way. Unless, caveat, for sure that you were never going to get hit because you knew for sure there was nothing. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, did they stop? Like, did they know if a guy had a buddy in a plane that was going to fly in and crash into the crowd? Did they stop airspace? And to know, like, you know, or is this nope? The one guy that we knew about, he didn't do his job right, so everything's good. We're all clear. Everybody, let's walk off. What the fuck is happening? Like, don't get me wrong, Donald Trump standing up, pumping his fist, was some fucking epic, iconic shit. But like the Secret Service, you probably should have never let him do that because if there had been another dude waiting, it would have blown his fucking head off instantly. You know what I mean? It's like. It's like, what doesn't even make sense, dude? Like, nothing makes, like, I guess I feel like, personally, I feel like, I assume by default that the people that are fucking running the show are a little job than apparently they are. I guess that's what I'll put. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he looked at, I mean, that's crazy too. He looked at the fucking immigrant it's just like, dude, that shit's so out of hand. Yeah, well, it's just like the whole, it's just all of it. It's like, I don't even fuck. It's just mind blowing. It just boggles the mind. The mind is boggled because it's just like you just assume, you know, like like okay, here's Robert F. Kennedy has been trying to get Secret Service protection since he's like the third candidate on the ticket for the third party, and the current fucking administration is denying him up and until this happened. Then they instantly gave it to him. It's like, well, wait a second. This dude's from the most fucking assassinated family that the United States has ever had. And that's not even an argument point. That is a pure fact. His uncle and his dad got fucking murdered when they were running for fucking president. Fact. And he's running for fucking president. It's like, dude, there could be someone out there just for fucking likes to roll threes or whatever could be fucking into that shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, no, none of you because you're taking away my phone. It's just like we got a situation going on in this country that is not fucking looking great as far as corruption, dude. What we got here? Well, whatever. I mean, yeah, but it's just like, I mean, someone had out is like, so if you're on the, and I don't know the exact terms, if you're on the close quarters detail, like the person, like basically you're the meat shield, you're the one to take the knife, or you're supposed to take the bullet, or you're supposed to absorb the grenade or whatever. You know, if you're that person, and I'm just gonna say person, not man or woman, you're that person, then by default, you ought to be as close to as tall as the primary, the person you're protecting. Otherwise, how do you do it? Like, if you're not as tall, you keep it. So, like, that there alone is like, well, sorry, you're only in your 5 feet-ish, and the target is fucking 6 foot-ish, so we're gonna need a human that's a little bigger, so you could do the job of being the meat sheet. Just like, no, I'm empowered. It's just like, did you see the picture of the fucking lady cowering behind the fucking? It's just like, dude, like, you gotta be, you're step into my fucking office because you're fucking fired, dude. There's no other way. There's no fucking. And not only should that person be fired, whoever made the decision to put that person in that position should no longer be employed. They should be doing something else for them. Did anybody see that surface fucking show her face at the Republican National Convention? Did you see that video? That lady showed up there and was instantly by Congress people. And they're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? And she was like, I think here's a good time to talk about it. They're like, what the fuck? You were on the phone with us today and you hung up on us. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? And she's like, we should have a private meeting. They're like, good, let's do it right fucking now. And the lady turned and left. And they followed her. And at one point, they had to run. Have you ever seen a congressperson run before? In a dress with heels and fucking in a suit? Yeah, they were running after Secret Service head. Kimberly, whatever the fuck her face is. Running after her. And she ran to her room, and then Secret Service agents protected her and stopped the Congress people from going in to ask, what the fuck? What the fuck? It was, I've never seen anything so crazy in my life as that video. It's like, and it's a real thing. I'm not making any of that up. It's just like, whoa, what the fuck? What? Like, what is it, hubris for her to show up? Like, what does she think is going to happen? Everyone's going to and then everybody clapped. You know, it's just like, well, he didn't die. I guess it was like, nah, I mean, I don't know if that's the definition not of getting your job done is the not dying, but like, got bad news, people died, you know, like, a dude definitely died. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. In my imagination that apparently that I live in, one of the safest places that a citizen of the United States can go would be anywhere the Secret Service is protecting somebody. That would be my imagination. There would not be any further than inside of a safe. If you went inside of a safe and locked the door by yourself, that would be safer, potentially. Other than that, it's because there's obviously no way you could get hurt because obviously there's no danger to happen because obviously they've tried and failed before and they've obviously fixed all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I would assume that if there were a rule about how far we go out, I guess the rule would have started wherever the fuck Lee Harvey Oswald was would be the minimum distance that they, because based on previous we fucking failed, that distance you got to cover by, right? I mean, you just keep eking that out for every fucking long shot, I guess, wouldn't you? Like, whatever. Yeah, exactly. The head of Secret Service security was not being guarded by a. It's like, why does the head of Secret Service need Secret Service detail? That's another one I couldn't figure out. It's like, why is she being protected by the Secret Service? I don't understand that. It doesn't. That is a concept that I can't even pretend to understand would be a thing that would even be. Like, if you gave me 5 guesses about who gets Secret Service protection, I would never, in my wildest dreams, say the head of Secret Service. That would be like, does the whole police department get police protection when he goes around walking town? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think the chief of police gets police for that. Does he walk around with a posse of fucking people when he's at the grocery store in case someone tries to? No, he's the head, dude. Like you're the head. You're in charge. You're the best. Like, no, I was in charge of protecting the Cheetos and the fucking Pepsis. And that's what I was doing. What do you want to do next? Let's be in charge of all. Like, oh my god, dude. Well, it turns out she also was she was on Joe Biden's detail when he was vice president, and they thought she was just amazing, strong. So let's put her in charge. You know, it's like, I don't know if people are realizing that's like literally who's running the country right now. It's a person who elects people absolutely not based on their qualifications, and comes out and says it. He says, I'm going to select this person based on, I don't know, what their fucking reproductive organs that they were born with look like, what they like to do for sexual gratification in the privacy of their own fucking home, or their skin is. That's the quality. It's just like, well, I mean, I guess you could take that into consideration, but you also might choose a person that knows what the fuck they're doing. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, the most qualified person to do a job may not be a person who's got homosexual tendencies. It may just be a person who's good at their job. They could be homosexual. They could be straight. I have no idea. But for some reason, we're living in this world where, like, that's a thing now. Like, I mean, be straight. That's fine. But, like, are you the best at the job? Because if you're the most straightest guy ever and you're shit at your job, you shouldn't be doing that job. Go do something else. Or woman, or if you're a baby or whatever. I don't even fucking know how anything works. But, like, it was on full display for the whole. And I bet it was so eye-opening for every hits our country. I bet everyone was like, "Whoa, I didn't know that." I almost guarantee there was fucking people who are dictators or they run regimes. They were just like, "Whoa!" I bet their head went back a little bit. It was like, "Whoa, what?" Like, we didn't realize it would be that fucking easy. Like, I almost guarantee it. And like the crazy part is, there was so much more shit that kid could have done that would have helped him, and he didn't do it because he could have just dressed in like a drab blue fucking outfit. It would have helped him immensely. Like, he could have like dressed in like somewhat like kind of casual police attire, and like they would have been like, well, apparently that's a cop there, and you know what I mean? But like he didn't even like whatever. Like, dude, like went to Home Depot, bought a fucking ladder. Like, what the fuck? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I mean, it's like suspension of disbelief. You must suspend your ability to disbelieve things. Just like, what the fucking fuck? And then like I've heard it's just absolutely batshit crazy. They're gonna disallow the photograph that was taken because it makes Trump look too good. I'm not even making that shit up. They're disallowing that. They took it off the cover of Time magazine. It makes him look too good, and we just can't have any of that. It's just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, and then what else are we supposed to believe? Just days before, literally days before, the current commander-in-chief explained to the populace that we were in an existential threat due to the presidential of Donald Trump, and our democracy was on the brink of fucking complete violation. And then the very next day he called to make sure he was doing okay. Yep, that's a real thing. Like, we all have to be like, oh, well, that was pretty nice of him. It's like, what? I understand. Like, I thought that we were going to, like, existential means existence. Like, you don't exist anymore. That's like an existential threat leads to extinction. Like the dodo and, I don't know, something else that doesn't exist. So, like, that's a big deal. Like, that's a big deal. But yeah, you give him a call the next day, make sure he's doing okay. It's just like, are you fucking kidding me? And then, by the way, we tone down the rhetoric. You know, just like, dude, it's like everybody just on fucking retard pills now. What do you got here? Oh, hey, Jude, what's up? You watch porn? Yeah, well, sometimes before you do shit like that, you watch a little porn, I guess. I mean, can't imagine he was planning on getting away. I mean, I guess he had a little bit of an exit plan with I guess the bomb was supposed to be the distraction or whatever. I mean, I have no fucking idea. I really don't know. I mean, all I know, literally see with my eyes, and what I can literally hear with my ears when I watch the video, all I can possibly know and then I can, you know, I can have my opinions about how I think shit's supposed to work, like steepness of roofs. Said it was too hot up there. It's like, oh, I mean, I don't know if you know that. They actually, and this is real. They kind of backed off on this one, but they actually came out with that, which is essentially saying that climate change is to blame because it's too hot. It was too hot because of climate change because it's hot. It's like, yeah, they even managed to squeak that one in there between the other just absolute ridiculous shit that I can't even fucking believe that I'm like reading online. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, it's so hot. I mean, how do you expect a person whose job is to do a job to do it when it's hot? I mean, this is ridiculous. I work in an office with air conditioning. That's insane. You know how steep that roof is? How could you go up there? It's like, lady, have you ever? No, I take that back. That lady has never. No, it doesn't even matter what the fuck I'm going to say. She just never has. Like, yeah, you ever got done with work, had so much sweat and sawdust on you, you could take your fucking fingers and pull it off and make a fucking mud ball? Yeah, that's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people do every fucking day during the summer. It's a real thing. There's no such thing as it's too hot on the fucking roof to do your job because if you don't want the job, guess what you don't do? Show up for work. Oh, I guess somebody didn't show up for work. That's another one they blame. Somebody didn't show up. So there you go. You hear about that? Well, we had a person not show up. It's like, wow, weird. I'm trying to think of the list of jobs that if somebody doesn't show up, they just say, oh, well, you know, Larry didn't show up today, so I guess we're not going to have any pizzas at the pizza shop, so I guess we're closing because Larry didn't show up and Larry cooks the pizzas. Oh, wait, no, you call us, don't you? Isn't that how it works? If you don't show up to work, someone, like, fills in for you. I mean, typically, I mean, it's not 100% of the time. But, like, typically that's how it works. If you don't show up for work, someone just fills in. The guy is supposed to charge that building with the clear shot. He didn't show up. Fuck it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's... Anyway, oh, yeah, well, he didn't show up. What are you going to do? I mean, it's hard to get work these days. I mean, it's just like the guy didn't show up. And then, like, I mean, I get it. It's a traumatic event. Everyone's traumatized by it. I literally heard the police chief from that town, because, like, apparently if enough people scream, there's a shooter on the roof, eventually even the local police will show up to take a fucking peek. So they said, this is directly paraphrased from the quote from the chief of police. Two of the officers went to the building. One of the officers gave her a boost, a quote-unquote boost. Okay? So we're going to do some imagination time. So imagine in your head boosting another human being to get them up so their hands can grab a roof, right? And the guy's dangling from the roof, and the guy's pushing from the bottom, and the guy that's getting the boost sticks his head above the roof. He sees the shooter, turned, pointed the gun at him, and of course, like any other person who doesn't want to get shot in the fucking face, he let go. Oop, my stream just fucking crapped out. To which the chief of police said basically exactly what I said, and the guy. But this is the next he said. The officer ducked down, let go, and fell. He fell 8 feet to the ground. Okay, he fell 8 feet, motherfuckers. All you people fell 8 feet. Now you're supposed to feel bad because the cop didn't do anything because he fell 8 feet. And I'm thinking, well, okay. If you fall 8 feet, I assume, like based on how most measuring is. If I jump 3 feet, I've jumped 3 feet, or it's from your feet. So you're telling me that a human being that was over 8 feet tall helped boost the dude up? No. The fucking the gunner was at 8 feet. If he is 5 feet tall and has 2 feet of hands, that's 7 feet. He fell a foot, dude. The dude must have fallen. Like, how could you boost somebody 8 feet in the fucking air? That's like, you know what I mean? Like. That's another one. It's like, oh my God, he fell 8 feet. Like, how does one boost a human being with human power up 8 feet? How does it happen? I don't understand. Please explain to me so I can understand. I want to understand. But we're all supposed to grab our pearls and go, oh God, the cop fell 8 feet. Like, I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm sure it's the cops trying to be like, dude, we tried, but like to 8 feet. But it's like, I mean, how did you fall 8 feet? if you were standing on the roof, and if the roof was 8 feet tall and you fell off, that's falling 8 feet, kids. In case you didn't know how falling works. If you're dangling off a roof and you've let go, you're not falling 8 feet. Like, that's not, like, I mean, maybe if you're at a bar or you're telling stories, but like, all it would take is one person who's not completely hammered to be like, wait a second, you were dangling from 8 feet? Or like, how far did you fall? Well, I fell 2.5 feet. It's just like, okay. I mean, that's not even that big of a deal. It's just a casual observation, you know? Just like, I mean, whatever. It's just like, God almighty. And I'm trying to think, what's so, of course, everyone's upset, everyone's mad, and like, the people with mental illness are, you know, displaying it by saying shit that only people with mental illness would say. And since we live in the world that we live in, you know, Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals is the book we live by. You have to judge others the same rules they judge you by. So everybody's, you're getting canceled. Like, you come out and publicly say stupid shit, people are going to come cancel you, right? Like, that's happening. Well, this is where it gets good, right? Because we live in... So if you say stupid shit and some people bitch to your boss, you don't quit your job. You get what's called fired. Right? You get fired. You get fired from a job, that's different than quitting a job. And when you're fired, you get what's called employment. And what I'm going to say next is I'm not making this up. So now there's people who are like, fuck it, I hate this job. And they write a word sentence, the kind of sentence that would denote that people would call your boss and get you fired for saying it. That's actually happening now. Fuck it, I hate my job. I wish blank had happened to the former president. Yep. And then they're sending it directly to the guy who's sending. It's just almighty. What kind of a fucking crazy pants world are we living in? But the thing, I've literally seen the post. There's a dude from Home Depot who's like, I hate this fucking job, and then he wrote the words, and he sent it directly to fucking Libs and TikTok. It's like, please report me, boss. I fucking hate this job. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god. Like, it looked like. Whatever. It's so fucking crazy. And there's some of the shit ever in the history of mankind. Like, what's the other one that happened? Tenacious D. So I've read the official narrative, but then I heard the other happen. So they're doing a tour right now. It's over in Australia, New Zealand. They're coming back to the States. The other half of Tenacious D, that's not Jack Black, had a birthday. They had a birthday cake. He made a wish, and he said what he said, right? And everyone didn't say that shit. Well, the official statement's like, oh, I was taken aback. I didn't realize. The other guys, I'm so sorry. Well, here's what actually happened. They lost their fucking insurance. Their insurance company was like, we can't insure that because there could be people showing up to counter-protest. They got their insurance dropped. Well, do you know what happens when you lose your insurance? The venue that you go to says, can we see your insurance? And they say, we don't have insurance. And then you don't have a venue. They didn't cancel their fucking tour. They lost their insurance. And by default, the tour got canceled. And like all that shit, they don't know. That's all just, it's all imaginary. It's make-believe, dude. It's make-believe. Allegedly, right? Like, allegedly. Like, that's like, yeah. Whatever. I mean, this shit's just fucking... Like, who never saw that coming, you know, like, the whole fucking thing. So then, like, okay, so we have to keep living, right? So the world that we live in is the world, like, so for example, there's an internet personnel who said things about an event that happened involving a shooting. And he was sued for like $1 billion or so and he lost. So now the question is, can the people that have large platforms, like I believe Joy, for example, she came on air and she said things that potentially are a conspiracy that aren't true. And there was a man who died. Is he allowed to sue her for $1 billion because she said things that aren't probably going to be what the official narrative is when it's all said and done? Because that's the world we live in now, is that there's going to be an official narrative. If you counter that in official platform, if you have a large enough audience, you could be held accountable like $1 billion, which is like I mean, is $1 billion even a real amount of money? Like, a fucking $1 billion. There you go. Like, how many grains of sand are in each? Is there 1 billion pieces of sand? Like, I don't even know how much 1 billion is, but like, you could be sued for that if you say things that are against what an official narrative is. I mean, so that's a real question now. I mean, I don't think regular people can be sued for $1 billion. You have to have a certain amount of influence, apparently, according to the way the lawsuit worked. Quite interesting, because I didn't realize that's how it worked. But, you know, that's all been done and adjudicated, and that's a real thing now. I mean, that's one of these rules that gets set in a line when the court case gets done. That's why I think some people were kind of shitting their pants with all this Trump litigation, because it's like kind of was like over in the corner, like, oh, hey, by the way, if you actually go through with this, that's what in legal terms is called a precedent, and then once that's for everybody going forward, no matter who you. It's like, ooh, and like I don't know if you've noticed, but some of them court cases are getting some rulings that's dialing it back a little bit because you know, it didn't work. A. And B, it's going to set a precedent that can be used against every living president who's alive who ever did something illegal, like, I don't know, drone striking a fucking 16-year-old American citizen, potentially, could be a thing. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. I mean, I don't think you're allowed to drone strike citizens, and it was like even like manslaughter, or, you know, or something, or unintentional fucking homicide. I don't even know how it works, but I'm pretty sure it was planned. You know, I'm pretty sure they planned on that. That would be considered plated. You know what I'm saying? Like. And I'm sure there are some people that are kind of like, maybe we'd better not do that so much. Just like, Jesus Christ. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just casual ops, right? This is just Sunday brunch live stream, you know, welcome to my channel, but it's just, you know, they used to have a thing called Deep Candy on Saturday Night Live, and I'm just Deep Thoughts by Elveshelves here, you know, just casual observations about the world that I'm observing. Very interesting. You know, very interesting. You know, there were some pearl clutchers. How can we arrest this kid's parents and put them in jail because it was the father's gun? Well, there was a case recently where a kid shot up a school and they arrested the parents in fucking jail. They did, because the kid used the parents' gun because the parents didn't stop him from doing it. But the only difference between that case and this case was in that case it was a minor child. So apparently, if your kid's under 18 and he goes and murders a bunch of people, you get in far more trouble than if your kid's over 18. So keep that in mind for anyone who's got a child under the age of 18. You'll be held responsible if your kid goes postal somehow, magically. I really don't understand. I mean, they were like you're what? Well, you know, I don't know what the laws are and how guns are supposed to be, like the legal gun storage. And I'm thinking, I always forget I don't live in a fucking commie fucking cesspool. Legally, how did you legally store your live in America on the coffee fucking table? Like, what the fuck is this legally storing guns? And then I realized in commie fucking lockdown fucking states, there's legal requirements for storing a gun. Like, what the fuck? You gotta have it in a safe with biometrics. It's like, oh, in case I want to use it? Yeah. Someone kicks your door and you gotta run to your safe, type your code in, get your eyeball scanned. Yeah, good luck with that. Like, the more they spread that shit, the more, like, emboldened they're gonna be. It's like, what they should say is, no, in America, the fucking guns are loaded, laying everywhere. Underneath this fork, there might be one. There could be one right here. Like, you just go with they don't know. You just never know, right? You just never know. Whatever. Let's make some pancakes. I'm making some pancakes, kids. I mean, whatever. I feel bad for the dude that got, because, like, I absolutely am pretty fucking positive there's no chance that dude was planning to not come home that day. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would be a thing that you would just, like, you should be more nervous going to the mall, not making it back, than you should be going to a fucking former beach, because you know it's going to be protected. You know it is. Because it is. It's like a known thing. It's a known safe place. Known. It's a known thing. Everybody knows it. Except for when it's not. I really haven't heard much about the other people that got shot. I mean, I kind of saw pictures, and like one was like a really, like, the dude's face was down, and like they didn't really show who he was. I did see some video. I've seen video of 2 of the people being hauled out. And, like, they got them out quick. It was crazy. Like the shooting happened. People started screaming, medic, medic, medic. And, like, fuck, within, what, 25 or 30 seconds, they had the dude down the bleachers. There was a lady like, did somebody get shot? Did somebody get hauled away? And she was, like, 4 feet from it all. Like, the dude was, like, 4 rows behind her. She's like, what's happening? What? Did somebody get hauled away? It's like, oh, yeah, no, that dude just got... Message retracted. Oh, my God. They came after you, huh? Oh, you're not allowed. Disallowed. Disallowed. That's... Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't want none of that. Can't have none of that talk on the internet. I'll probably get my goddamn channel banned. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm rebooting my shit here. All right, what's next? Yeah. Message? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Where the fuck? That's funny. I don't even know if I'm live right now. They might shut me down. Oh, you just tested. Just to see. The internet's forever, bitch. You're going down. Stop having opinions about shit that's happening in the world. Oh, that wrong thing. Stop. Like, oh, God, whatever. All right, 2 cups. We need 1/3 cup of water. Here. Like, I play a lot of Elveshelves, and I run with a couple different groups, and, like, the one group that I run with, like, they don't allow any sort of distracting talk, because why we're there to, like, it's like, we're here not to think about that shit. But, like, you kind of, like, sometimes you just gotta be like, dude, did you see what's fucking going on? And, like, I've chatted with some of the guys, like, unofficially, right? And I know their views. And some of the guys think like I do, and, like, you talk about shit with them. Like, you know, who's in chat, you know, because you don't want to offend the people that are easily offended, so you just don't. And he was gone, and, like, so I just said to him, like, I may have talked about this last week. Like, did you see the news? He's like, no, nobody talk about it. It's like, all right, I get it. You know, we don't want to be doing a thing that's getting people upset. I don't want to upset anybody. So, like, the next night, I logged in with my other group, and one of the guys is like, hey, you know, I just want to thank everybody for not, like, get out and, like, blaming fucking whoever they think's at fault. It's like, it's kind of nice. And I was like, I'm just me. I'm like, yeah, you know, people are here not to, like, there's a reason why we log in. Because, you know, we've been dealing with logged out all day. We want to be logged in. You know, you want to log in to get away from logged out, right? And he's like, yeah, you're right. And I was like, besides, there's nothing to say. And I said, because everybody fucking understands. Like, everybody knows, dude. Like, it's not a secret what's going on right now. And he just laughed. I mean, if you had, like, if there was a political bingo card, I'm pretty sure that last Saturday's event, or a week ago Saturday's events, would have been on the card. You know, may not have been a card play that a lot of people thought was going to happen, but it would definitely have been on the card. I mean, you're going to find somebody who's like, I cannot believe that happened. As opposed to, like, I can't believe it took them that long to try. Who knows how many times they've tried. I'm pretty sure they don't come out and announce a bunch of crazy shit like that. I mean, We'll do it. We'll do a straw poll. Who heard about what happened at the RNC? Anybody? It didn't really make the news. I'm pretty sure there was a dude with a knife. And I also heard a dude with an AK-47 was like fucking around. But they got him. So like, it's not news. Like that's the difference between news and not news. It's like one's news and one's not news. Like, welcome to the not news. I mean, whatever. I really don't know why I can't make my stream on my... That's fine though. I think it's still running. Doesn't matter. Having fun though. I'm having fun right now. Fortunately, I left my butter out, so it's got sketchy room temperature butter. That probably is not the greatest history of ideas, but we're still going to use it. So you're just testing to see if you can flag your comments by erasing them all. Like that probably bumps you from the computer overseeing an actual agent. Just saying. Be like, oh, this guy's thought crime. He second thoughted them. He thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't think these thoughts. Self-fragging. Fractal. He's making fractal decisions in the fucking... The comments were too steep, dude. Like the new thing. Like this, like, and what's crazy is like the lady actually, like, she actually said it. Like, that's not like a internet rumor. The head of the roof was so steep that it may not have been safe to take into consideration. I just feel like there's people in this world that fucking, I don't know how you say them. They eat too many of their meals at restaurants with reservations, I guess. Would that be a way to describe how I feel like that lady is? And how, like, what she's living is very important to her daily interactions outside of her job. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay. I'll have the filet mignon today for lunch. You know, I'm sure it's like that. Could you get in an argument with her at home? The head of the Secret Service? Oh my God. I'm never stepping down! I'm trying to think of, like, if you shifted the whole thing to another scenario, what would possibly be a scenario? Yeah. What would be a scenario or a sequence of events that would be bad enough for in charge to step down? Just curious. Would the primary whatever you want to call it, the person you're supposed to be protecting, would they have to lose their life in order for you to step down? Would that be is that the straw that breaks the camel's back? Loss of life, right? Like, what if they? Well, you know, we did a pretty good job. It's just like, I mean, whatever. I think my favorite part is the shooter. This is my favorite part. The shooter is a registered Republican, and therefore, fill in the blank. And in my mind, I'm thinking, if we go, there's like two ways you could interpret that information. One is they don't have open primaries, so you have registered whatever to vote in the primary. And there was open talk of registering for the opposition party so you could, like, vote out the person you didn't charge. Because the Democrats were obviously going to have Joe Biden, so there was no reason to vote for Joe Biden in the primary because he was a shoo-in. So therefore, there was people who were registering Republican, voting for somebody other than Trump. That's one way you could see it. Or the guy was a hardcore Republican, but he believed all the fucking propaganda from the Never Trumpers, which I think is even worse than the lefties. Is not a lefty who's like not. It's just like that's almost worse. That is almost worse. Like, because that's just like what do you, I don't know how to describe that. That's like the global machine of the Republic, the Unipartyists, the Republican branch of the Uniparty, screaming, "We don't want this guy we can't buy being president." That's who Trump is, the guy you can't buy. That's why he's hated, right? We hate him because we can't buy him a billion. You know what I mean? It's just like, and what's crazy is like everyone's about this in the past was like, I mean, I think it was Clinton that was quoted as saying is that Trump would be a horrendous political opponent because you couldn't buy him. Like they said, like the 90s or something. I mean, whatever. Just like, so like, I think the commies is like the Republicans that hate Trump. I think they're worse because it's like, dude, what, like, who are you in, like, what do you make money off war? I don't understand it. Like, maybe I'm invested wrong, but like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. We gotta kill strangers with wars because our stock price is down. It's like, shit. I mean, anybody want to venture a guess who's going to rebuild Ukraine if that all works out? Anybody got any ideas on that one? Anybody who's got the bid on that? It's definitely not going to be your local lawn service. I can promise you that. I mean, whatever. I guess I shouldn't be too hard on the multinational corporations that make billions of dollars off war. I mean, you got to pay your bills. I mean, let's be real. I don't want to infringe upon their lifestyle. I mean, as I sit here and cook my own breakfast, there's probably people who don't even get breakfast, so like I'm probably living pretty high on the hog too, so who am I? Who am I to besmirch to go to a all-you-can-eat buffet at a white tablecloth restaurant on a fucking Wednesday for brunch, right? How about no tax on tips? That shit's crazy. No tax on tips. I can see a lot of. Yep. I can see a lot of employment arrangements being changed. We'll get the plumbers all like, boys, good news. Left the tip jar out today. Turns out someone put $500 in the tip jar. The three of you get to divide that up, I guess. Good work today, guys. You got your tips. Those are uninitiated. What's happening right now is traditionally, if you worked in the service sector and you received tips, you get paid a very, very, very low, if anything, hourly rate. And then it used to work was you got cash tips that you put in your pocket, and then at the end you would claim a number that seemed kind of like a pretend reasonable number so you wouldn't get audited. But they could never do anything to you. So they were just, trust me, zero fucks given if you're putting cash tips in your pocket because fuck everything, right? Well, we've all changed to this electronic thing, and now that's all. You can't. That's all got a receipt on it. So the who traditionally were working cash tips in their pocket, because like, I mean, I don't think anyone's ever bought like $1 million mansion working a tip job. I mean, maybe, but like generally speaking, that's not super lucrative. I mean, I've hung out with a lot of people that work those jobs and they make pretty good money, especially if you get good tips. But you can't harder because everything's electronic now. You can't pocket that shit. So that's, I mean, the story on that was Trump asked a girl because she was, I mean, she kind of came out and said that, hey, you know, it's all cash, or if no more cash tips, we're getting fucked, which they, you know, trust me, if you're living in America, you're getting fucked. Like, it's just happening for everybody. So he came up with that idea, which was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. He was talking about that. I was like, he said I saved $300,000 not having to fucking have a committee come up with a fucking campaign idea. I just talked to a waitress. Tax on tips. Well, there's obviously going to be, if he were to implement no tax on tips, there's going to be parameters, because otherwise you'd be like, you know, I work at the coal mine. Just pick a number. I make $100,000 a year. Oh, good news, John. You just got a $100,000 tip. Congratulations. No tax on tips. Yay. And everybody claps. So it's going to be, because it is a weird thing, because technically a tip is a gratuity, which is a freely given gift. It's not part of the transaction. And according to the IRS rules, you're allowed to give people money. It's really convoluted how it works. It's like, some people equate it to a yearly amount, but it's technically a lifetime amount. You're allowed to give so much money in a lifetime tax-free. And they kind of break it down by the year, but it has to do with how you file. Anyways, the lifetime amount is amounts of money that normal people will never see, and it's nothing anyone has to worry about, because it's like a lot of money. So like the question is like, well, if I'm giving this person a gift of a tip for a gratuity because I feel like it, why are they being taxed on it? That's not an income. There is a gray area though, you know. Like you don't pay tax on birthday present. Your Meemaw gives you $10. You don't pay taxes on that because it's a gift. But if you're working at the old Dairy Queen and your Meemaw comes in, gets an ice cream gum and gives you $10 tip, technically I think you're supposed to claim that on your taxes as income, because you got it at work, which is kind of weird, because either way, it's your Meemaw giving you $10, right? I mean, do you say, hey, Meemaw, wait till after work and give it a parking lot? I mean, I don't understand how any of it works, but... I mean, personally, I'm torn on the tip thing. I am personally torn. The reason I'm torn on it, because I am a person, right? I'm a person who's of the age that I am, who lives on planet Earth, and who's done the work done. And I don't think I've ever got a fucking tip in my life. I don't think so. But yet, I've lived the years I live, and I've done the work I've done, but I've never gotten a tip. What's up with that? But somehow in like different style of work, they've convinced everybody that the customer should pay the... I mean, the customer always pays, right? I mean, I'm trying to think of some scenarios like, what do you do? What do? I stack bricks on a pallet, right? No one comes to the yard and gives me a tip for stacking bricks on the pallet. But when the guy buys the pallet of bricks, part of the money that pays for the bricks paid my salary for stacking bricks, right? I'm installing bricks along a sidewalk for a customer, and they think I did a good job. They may give me I mean, I don't know how it works. I really don't know. I know industry, they expect the customer just to pay the server directly. But I've also heard the servers are getting fun that because they got to pay the busboy out of their tips. All sorts of shit has to happen. Like I could only assume, based on how everything works, that the way the current system is set up, fuck somebody over and someone else is getting out ahead. That's the only way. I mean, how else can it work, right? I assume it's much like self-checkout, right? The only reason self-checkout exists is to fuck somebody over and so someone else can come out ahead. And the way self-checkout is they make the customer do the work and the fucking people in the store come out ahead, right? Isn't that how it works? All those hilarious things I heard lately, and I don't condone this. There's people like arguing about self-checkout, like, oh goddamn, I'll stand in line for 20 minutes so I don't have to self-checkout. And I will do that because I refuse to out. I guess I'm a boomer. They call it someone that's boomer behavior. Stand in line, in your time, so you don't have to fucking self-checkout. That's fine. I got the internet on my phone. I can just surf that. And some of the comments was like, "Oh, I used to self-checkout for the discount." And someone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? There's no discount if you check out." They're like, "Oh, but there is. It's the fucking, it's the Honey Crisp apples for the apple price, motherfucker. Yeah, that's the self checkout discount. You grab the expensive shit and you scan the cheap shit and you just you just got yourself a discount right there, kids. You're eating organic bananas at fucking regular banana, kids. Don't do that. That's a crime. That's what's happening. So like because and trust me, this is definitely happening because it's happening so bad. The solution is they have to hire more security now. So now you're being monitored as you shop to see what you put in your basket, and then they're checking to see if it matches what you're checking out with. See, that's happening. Because security is expenses. You can expense that, right? Against your tax liability. And you don't have to pay on security equipment. Some of that AI, it's artificial intelligence. It'll solve it all. Oop, I don't know if I missed anything yet. Oh shit, I missed a bunch of stuff. Hold on, sorry. Well, I don't think gifts have ever been taxed. There ain't no fucking way. Yeah, so I mean I think that's actually happening right now. Like, so when you do the Green New Deal or whatever the fucking holy shit that we're currently living through, they got to come up with revenue. There's all these all these people making all this money, $600 at a time. You know, it's like I think it's actually law right now. If you sell something used, and I think it's a total. I don't sell shit. Like, I don't know if you guys know that about me. I never sell anything. I swear to Christ, I've sold two things in my life. One was a bicycle, and one was a snowboard. And I got fucking robbed on the snowboard, and I regret selling the bicycle. Everything else in my entire life I've always kept. But anyways, it's like, oh man, there's all these people making all this money selling shit on eBay. You know, it's like all these garage sales. Like, you know, it's all these poor people trying to stay fed. We need to tax the shit out of them. We need some agents in there making sure they're not making too much money selling their fucking items. You know, oh, we're selling granny stuff off. Like, oh, wait a second, you owe some money on that. It's like, dude, what the fuck is happening? Like, if we had a time machine and we went back to the founding of our country, those people would be fucking losing their minds. Did you guys know the income tax was temporary? It was a temporary measure. Do you guys know that? There used to not be an income tax. And when they brought it out, it was for like ultra rich people, and it was a postcard. It was like this big postcard, just like that much. But see, the problem, we're like, ooh, a little bit extra money, that's pretty nice. But the way it used to work is they funded the federal government with via tariffs. They let the foreign governments pay. That's how it worked. Whatever. So the funny thing about rich people is, rich people tend to be rich for a reason. So when you change the rule, hey, well, rich person, we're gonna make you pay a bunch of extra money. Rich people are like, yeah, I don't know about that. So they just figure out how to not do it because they're rich. And then apparently what they did is like, well, we're just going to hire some people who make laws and have them make laws and make the laws complicated. And then we'll just sneak in on the backside of those laws and we'll stay rich. So that's what they've done. That's why the tax code is so fucking convoluted. People who have lots of money can use the fucking way the law is currently written, avoid paying extra taxes, in case you don't understand how the fucking world works. There's a reason the world works the way it does. It doesn't work that way out of, if I get a gift at work, oh yeah, it's because it's a work gift. Yeah, for sure. Oh, you're saying your work, yeah, the no ticks, yeah, potentially. So yeah, that might change with Trump. I mean, so like your work giving you a gift, I hate to be, but they're not giving you a gift. They're compensating for your time because it's a work exchange. It's part of your salary. That's why you get taxed on it. That's what's so interesting about taxes on gifts and, you know, Like if your boss, quote unquote, saw you at the parking lot and it was like, "Hey, you're my favorite for your birthday," you know, like I don't know how that works. It's your boss. If you're outside of work, you got $10. It was your birthday. I don't know. And your boss don't give a shit how much taxes you pay. He just gives you the gift. Says good luck. It's like Oprah buys you a car. Guess what? You got to pay taxes on that. In case you didn't know that. If you thought Oprah was going to give you a free car, I got news for you. You better start saving because you're going to have the car to pay the taxes, or yeah, taxes. The tax man cometh. Yeah, for sure, a certain amount. It'll probably be. How would they do it? No tax on tips in a employment situation is going to be capped to a certain amount per interaction, I guess. Probably $100 per interaction, I guess. How else? I have no idea. I mean, a lot of the stuff just seems like, oh, I don't know how it turned out like the way. It's like, well, I know how it turned out. Someone wants it to be exactly the way that it is. That's how it turned out that way. If you're like, how did that turn out that way? Very little in life is just happening. I mean, there's stuff that happens randomly. The wind does blow. That is a fact. And thank Christ it does. Otherwise, I don't even know what the fuck would be going on right now. I probably wouldn't be cooking breakfast on a live stream if the wind wasn't blowing as it was last Saturday. I think shit would be way fuck different. But I don't know why my grill got so cool. I mean, whatever. Don't worry, it's going to get better in a minute now, but I don't think it is. Well, what's the next one? The Windows thing? Are you guys, dude? We're just supposed to believe that almost every Windows computer on the fucking earth bricked the day after Trump gave his speech and a half a week after he took a bullet to the head. And we're just supposed to believe that it was just a little bit of oopsie doopsie. It just happens to be the same company that was involved with Gates shit. Let's just like, how much like, just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what that's all about, but I got absolute guarantee that wasn't just some magic oopsie shit. I assume what it was a fucking way to fucking scrub some shit permanently that can't be known. Like some shit about that certain day that we didn't want emailed, and they might be looking into that shit. We're gonna have to. What are we gonna do? I know. Let's just shut all the computers off for like a day, and we can take care of that. Like, and then put everybody on the news, like so that the first like. I tried to log into ESO and like Xbox Live was down because it's Microsoft. And I was like, oh, what the fuck's going on? Like Apple, so like my shit worked. And I didn't really think much. I just kind of just Googled like Xbox down. Yeah, it's down. I was like, oh, whatever. Sometimes Xbox is down. Like that's just a real thing with Xbox. I didn't realize it was all fucking Microsoft's Windows. It's like the next day, I kind of like waking up, reading the news, and people are like, oh, the whole fucking world's gonna fucking end because there's no computers. So I turn on YouTube, and like the first thing came up, I think it was like Hoda Kotb from NBC or whatever. I'm like, fuck it, this lady will tell me what's going on because I didn't have no clue. The first thing she says is it's not a cyber attack. I was like, oh fuck, we just got hit by a cyber attack. Because the lady at NBC, the first thing she said was, it's not a cyber attack. So you know what that means? If she says it's not a, and then fills it with a word, and it's on the mainstream, your first thought should be, holy shit, it's a, and then whatever word she used, that's what it is. See how that works? Like, if she says it's not a French toast, that means it's a cake. It's just like, oh god, dude. Because they're just like feeding the line to you on that shit. They're letting you know what you're supposed to know. It's not a cyber attack. Everybody calm down. I'm like, okay. I still don't think that's sorted out. I was reading the solution is like, has to be done
Every computer affected has to be hands-on touched. A person with the ability to interact with the keyboard, I don't know, with fingers or with chopsticks or whatever you use, has to power on them by somehow turning the power on, has to go into safe mode by having the magical knowledge how to turn a computer on in safe mode, and then they have to go into a file set menu, select the correct one through all the magical numbers on the screen to delete something. Yeah. Best of luck to everybody. Best of luck. Because there's people who are old enough to vote now that only understand apps. They don't know what files are because they don't do files, they do apps. And this is a file situation. So good luck. I know someone that went down to try license plate tags. And they weren't able to provide them service to buy the tags for their plate because the computer wouldn't work. Now, how would that play? Let's say you were on your last day of plates before you were illegal, and you went to the store during posted business hours, and you tried to buy your plates to be legal to drive on the road, and when you got to the store, they wouldn't sell you the plates, but now you have to leave without your plates because you can't buy plates because the plates can't be bought because the computer doesn't work, and you get pulled over, and you're kind of mad, and the cop murders you because they do that sometimes. How would that work out? I'm sure that's probably a thing that may or may not happen. I guess buy your plates early, kids. I don't know what to tell you. And just to feed the line of fucking, you gotta be kidding me, literally read on the internet, like a day before the internet down, someone had a screenshot of a post. I didn't see the original, but it was a screenshot that was posted that says, don't fly on that day. Because they knew it was going to fucking happen and the planes would be affected, dude. Like, it's so, like, it didn't magically happen, kids. It's just like, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's so weird, well, sometimes these computers, I tell you, they just don't work sometimes. All of them at once on the fucking planet. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, what is happening? Like, oh, that's just the way it works sometimes. Sometimes that's just the computers all shut off at once. Weird. Well, brought to you by Kellogg's or whoever the fuck. I have no idea. So, I'm sure we live in a world where an independent company can write a line or two of bad code, and that will brick all those machines on planet Earth. I'm sure that's the world we live in. Sorry, accidentally. You can accidentally write bad code on accident. I mean, I wonder, maybe the dude that was writing the code, maybe his chair was on a roof, and it's like he couldn't do his job because the roof was too sloped, and he typed the bad code, and then everything broke. Someone should check into the angle of his chair. If it's too steep, you can't do your work because it's just too dangerous. I'm just trying to think of what other absolute batshit, like make-believe, dumb shit you can come up with. I mean, all computers not working the next day, or on a day, was not on my big card. Like, that was one I was not anticipating. See, I would go with internet shuts down. That's the one I would go with. But shutting the internet off, that may just be too obvious. So, like, what could we do? Oh, well, we could just break everything. I mean, I really don't know. Or I suppose you could go white hat and say, how about this? The good guys, if they exist, maybe they did it so they could go to the bad guys' computers and pull their shit off. You know, that's an option too. Because I got news for you. I don't understand how computers work. And I know they work in ways that I don't get. And I'm pretty much sure to put a screen that says your computer's broken. I bet that shit works just fine if you're fucking on the backside of it. So that's a possibility too. It could totally be a white hat scenario where they just like froze screen everybody's computer and then they went in and they pulled all their shit that was potentially involved in a conspiracy to fraud the voting population of their candidate. So fingers crossed. Maybe someone's trying to fucking get something sorted out. I doubt it though. You never know. What is this in my? What, I got a bug in here? What is this? I don't know what that is, but it's not pancake batter colored. I don't like that. Can't have that. Sorry for blocking, but there was a non-pancake colored item in my pancake batter. Whatever. So yeah, what did we do? What did we go from? We went from let's recap the couple of weeks. We went from, if you show a video of the President of the United States doing things that he does, that is a cheap fake, and those are altered videos, and that shouldn't be good. If you show a video of him just doing what he does, everything's fine. He's not a incoherent, mumbling, bumbling elderly. You guys remember this? Those are dirty, cheap, fake videos, heavily edited, not reflecting reality. We went from that, right? That was all over the news, to the presidential debate, where he was on stage all by himself and had to just be on it. He just had to be him, and he did him, and everybody saw it, and the whole world collectively grabbed their pearls and said, holy shit, what is happening? Because it just went exactly how it went, and everybody saw it. That was him. Like, I'm surprised they didn't say the debate was a deep fake. I'm sure they thought of it, like, oh, it's a deep fake, stop watching it. And all like, no. And that's where, you know, the deep fakes kind of went away. Then it was all of a sudden Joe Biden's got to go from his party, which is crazy. Because everybody voted, right? We all that wanted to voted for Joe, and they said they wanted him. But they had, you know, the machine was protecting him, trying to explain to everybody he's fine. Oh, dude, don't. Those are fake videos. No. Whatever. It's just fucking. Then we go from that to an assassination attempt, and then from that you go to the roof was too sloped, and from you go from that to all the computers shut off. So like, what's next, kids? What do you think is going to come next? Comment below if you know what's going to happen next. Come up with the craziest shit you can think of that's going to happen next. Unfortunately, and I hate to say it, the next thing that's going to happen is going to probably involve far more funerals. Because I feel like they're kind of running out of options, and that's about all they got left. It's so fucked up. It's so fucking crazy. I don't even know what to think anymore. It's just so fucked up. Everything's so fucked up. And like the craziest part about all of it being so fucked up, and this is the truth, every fucking buddy knows it, and nobody gives. Like, I'm starting to see some, like, I always talk about crazy traffic shit on my video, and some traffic now. We're not talking California rules through stop signs. We're talking approaching stop signs. If there's nobody else at the stop sign, not even letting up. Like, I watched today with me approaching the stop, like, let's go up to a four-way. And I was like driving up, there's a guy coming, and like, you know, here he comes. He saw me, saw me through. And what was crazy, I got to the stop sign faster. Because if he had stopped, then I would have had to stop and wait. And this guy's like, fuck it. He just rolled through. He rolled through. He didn't even let off. He threw the fucker. And I know he knew because he looked right at me. And he was like, oh, you're not even here yet. So even if I had just rolled straight through, we wouldn't have crashed. And that's where we're at now. We're just at where people are just like, fuck it. We're at full fuck it scenario. Which is super fucking crazy. Like, super crazy. Like, I never thought I would make it to full fuck it. Society, we're in full fuck it mode. Fuck it. People are just like, fuck it. We're making a big one. This is one big pancake. The last one, oh god, too much. Well, probably could have made two small ones, but instead we made one big one. Yep, welcome to full fuck it mode. Brought to you by fucking somebody. Monsanto, or I don't know who it's brought to you by, but somebody. Whatever. I'm sure it'll get better today. Yeah, I had a person, what do we call him, and essentially a government official, and interact with me the other day in an official capacity in a project that I'm working on. And that interaction basically was inquiry on some basic questions, and then it was let's have a conversation about how fucked up everything is. That's all about it. It was just like, okay, that was interesting. And then he was just kind of like, fuck it. His job was to do a job, and he showed up and said, fuck it, I'm not doing my job. I want to sit here and talk about how fucked up everything is. To which I'm like, dude, I'm happy to talk everything is. Which is, that's half the fun, right? That's a very large pancake. Oh, it didn't get cooked very good on that side yet. Let it cook a little longer. I mean, whatever. I'm sure it'll all work out. I'm sure it'll all work out just fine. This is my last pancake, and then I'm gonna go do something else. Okay. All right. Let's turn the old camera around. Another week of just what the holy hell could possibly happen this week. All right. Hey. You looking at my cabinets? Bunch of weirdos. Those are my cabinets. What are you looking in there for? All right, so attempted assassination, internet computer, or the computer shut off. Don't believe what you're seeing because that's cheap fakes. But then turns out, like, I never heard. I never really went back on that one. That's kind of interesting how, like, they circled the wagons about how basically shame on you for thinking illustrious leader is not maybe in 100% capacity. How dare you, sir? Stop watching those faked videos on him wandering off like a would, you know, it's like, oh, where's my pearls? You know, it's just like normal, like, you know, a normal person that's just like, what the fuck is that? Like, and I think the test is like, could you give the person like a gross, like, I don't know, 7 items, and could they fulfill it? Could you send to the store all by themselves, and could they come back with the 7 items? If they can't do that, you probably can't be in charge of the fucking free world. Sorry, that's minimum, just the minimum. Like, Jesus Christ. And if you can't do that, the legacy media as a whole probably shouldn't circle wagons around you and try to convince everybody that you probably could do that, even though it's completely fucking obvious that you couldn't. It's just mind-boggling, dude. And I feel like it's all because they want to go to war someplace. Like, it's all because they want to make money on war. That's the only thing I can come up with. Because, like, there's all these people, like, freaking out about the potential of this man named Donald Trump being president, how bad it's going to be. And it's like, dude, he was president for 4 fucking years. Does anybody remember that shit? That was only like 3 3/4 years ago. People can't remember 3 3/4 years ago. Do you remember how many fucking, like, what are all those? Remember how many internment camps and how many people got rounded up, and how? Do you guys remember any of that? Because I don't either. It never happened. I was told it was happening. I remember how the world was going to end and we were all going to die and World War III was going to happen. Like, think of all this shit they told you was going to happen. You know, what would that be? 7 3 ago when he was running. Remember that? And then he was president for 4 years and it never happened. And now he's running again. I'm telling you, it's going to happen again. It's like, what the fuck? Like, not everybody can be that stupid. Like, it's literally impossible for everyone that dumb and not remember. Like, and it's just a bunch of fucking people making money off killing people in wars that are in charge, it seems like. What else could it possibly be? I don't get it. I don't understand. It's mind-boggling to me. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I guess maybe I need to invest in war more or something. I don't know. Oh well, that's breakfast. It's noon. Went a little late. Went a little long. Stay safe. Watch out for shit that you don't even fucking know that you're supposed to watch out for because it's coming. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to happen. I'm just trying to think what you should do. Don't drink the tap water. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I wouldn't drink tap water. That's probably on the bingo card list, is tap water. I don't know what the fuck next. It's going to be something fucking that you've never heard of. It'll be brand new. Stay safe.